In this video, I'd like to share with you some very simple ways that you can begin your journey to a healthier and more harmonious environment. You'll learn how to identify where frequencies are coming from and what you're being bombarded with, and some things that you can do to start protecting yourself from them. My name is Dr. Don Paris, and I'm the author of the book, Regaining Wholeness Through the Subtle Dimensions, a book that has become the Bible of scalar electromagnetic theory and practice through radionics and subtle energies. If you watch this video all the way through to the end, I'll give you a link where you can download my book for free. Welcome to my video series about EMF pollution and 5G. Over the next coming weeks, I'm going to be sending you some links in your email to deepen your understanding about 5G and EMF pollution and what you can do to protect yourself. First, I'd like to ask you, how many minutes a day do you spend on your cell phone? Okay, let's be honest. How many hours a day do you spend on your cell phone? Are you aware that your cell phone uses microwave frequencies? These are the same frequencies your microwave oven uses to cook your food. Now that works well if you want to cook a chicken. You put it in the microwave oven, you push the button, and out comes a cooked chicken. But what do you think happens when you put your cell phone up to your head? It may well be cooking your brain. Have you ever wondered about what you would do to protect yourself from these frequencies that are being put up all over the cities now? There's plenty of evidence. There are thousands of studies that show that microwave radiation from cell phones and other microwave radiating devices is harmful to health. The World Health Organization has actually issued a warning saying that cell phone radiation is a Class B carcinogen. That's the same as asbestos. I remember sitting with my good friends Dr. Bob Beck and Eldon Bird back in the early 90s. Bob Beck and Eldon Bird worked in the government and also in the CIA, developing scalar weaponry and scalar communications. And we were talking about what was coming in the future. And I remember Bob was gravely concerned about what was coming for the children because of the total surveillance and the weaponization of electromagnetic frequencies that they were already developing back then. They've both passed away now, but it seems like their predictions are actually coming true with the advent of 5G. Have you ever felt tired after working for a few hours on your computer or talking on your cell phone for a long time? That used to happen to me as well, until I realized that the frequencies that were coming out of my cell phone were actually affecting me. These frequencies are emitting microwave radiations. In fact, I resisted getting a cell phone for 5 or 6 years because I tried one out and I didn't like the way that it felt on my head. I remember my wife and I were traveling through Germany. I taught a seminar on subtle energies in Germany, and we were going from one seminar to the next one. And she was talking with one of those flip phones in the car. And after she talked with somebody for quite, maybe, 20, 30 minutes, it was quite a while, she said, you know, my ear is getting hot. And so I did some research on it, and I found out that in Germany, they actually have a stronger cell phone signal because they want to be able to get the signal 2 stories down into the basement so that your phone can ring even if you're downstairs. Now that may be a stronger signal than what you might have in your country, but all of these frequencies are emitting all of the time, and they do have an effect on us. Eventually, I did get a cell phone. And the way that happened was, one night we were walking here in our resort here in Bali. And it was nighttime, the pathways aren't that well lit. And so she pulled out her cell phone, and she magically transformed it into a flashlight. And for me, that was a slam dunk. I went, wow, now that's practical, that's something I could use. So, of course, I like communication as well, but I really didn't like how it felt. But I did eventually become friends with it and learned how to use it properly, and that's some of the things that I want to share with you in this video. It kind of reminds me of my Swiss knife. You know, I have a Swiss knife that does so many things. It's a screwdriver, it's a nail file, it's a little measuring stick, it's scissors, it even has a pair of tweezers. But just like a tool like that, you wouldn't want to give it to a child or a baby that didn't know how to use it. They could actually really hurt themselves. And that is actually also true with your cell phone. I never ever recommend having your cell phone given to a child or a baby unless it's in the airplane mode, so that no frequencies are coming in and out of the phone. A baby's skull is much thinner than ours, and so the heat penetrates much deeper into the brain and actually does start heating it up and cooking it. If you look in your instruction manual that you got with your phone, in the small print, it says never put your cell phone directly on your head. You're supposed to keep it a few inches away when you're talking on the phone. Better yet, use a headset. Or, even better yet, put it on speaker mode and keep it away from your head. Now they even make a glove that you can put on, and it'll keep the radiation from going into your hand while you're talking on your phone. These are just some of the issues facing us with 5G and the electromagnetic pollution. Number 1, the health impacts. Several thousand studies, like I said, already show that microwave radiation is hazardous to human health. Now these are peer-reviewed, double-blind studies. I know the U.S. just finished a $25 million study that concluded that microwave radiation is hazardous to health. Number 2, surveillance. Every footprint will be tracked by 5G because it's like a virtual X-ray machine that will allow those who control it to see inside your home 24/7. Number 3, environmental impact. Bees and other insects are already in trouble, and now 5G is killing them and other insects near the towers. Old trees are being cut down in cities to allow these dense signals to get through more easily. Number 4, the potential for weaponization is built into 5G, but we don't really know what's behind that technology. Number 5, the high risk of fire and damage to property and life. I had just read an article where they had put a 5G tower up on a light pole, which they're doing all over the U.S. currently, and the light pole blew over because it wasn't installed properly. It was too heavy at the top, and it caused a fire, and it burned thousands of acres. Number 6, the visual aesthetics of the thousands of towers that they're installing everywhere. Now they want to have a tower every 1 to 2 to 300 meters because these frequencies are so high they don't go very far. So they want to have a lot of these towers. Probably every 4th or 5th or 6th house on the block is going to have a tower put in front of it. And also, not only the visual aesthetics, what's it going to do to the property value? I mean, are you going to buy a house with a microwave antenna right in front of the house? Here are some simple things that you can do at home right now to start protecting yourself and reduce your radiation. Number 1, get rid of electric blankets, waterbed heaters, and even heating pads, because they're emitting waves directly onto the body, and you don't want to have that. There are certain types of heating mats that are designed with low EMF, like the BioArc, for example. They actually have a very low level of EMF coming off of them, and they're made for specific infrared frequencies. Those seem to be very beneficial. If you're using power strips or extension cords in your home, make sure you get the shielded ones that are grounded, that have a low EMF rating. They usually have a tag on them if they're a low EMF type. Also, if you're using an alarm clock, get a battery-powered one. That emits no EMFs, or so little that you can't even measure them. Don't get the kind that plug in the wall. And also, you can change the compact fluorescent lights in your house. If you change them with incandescent lights, and now I know they're a bit more expensive, and they're more expensive to run, but the full spectrum incandescent lighting is much better for your health, and you get better light and less EMF from them. And also they're not flickering, which does tire out the brain. Now in the bedroom, you can pull your bed out about 8 inches away from the wall, and that'll give you space between the wires that are inside of the wall and where you're sleeping, because you're spending about 8 hours normally in bed, and these electromagnetic frequencies are going all night long, even if there's nothing plugged into them. Some people go as far as to turn off the breaker at night into their bedroom. If you have an electric pole outside your bedroom window, then move your bed to the opposite side of the bedroom so that you're as far away as you can from the electric lines that are outside. Some other simple things: don't bring your cell phone into your bedroom at night or turn it off. So make sure it's in airplane mode minimally, or turn off the cell phone completely. And don't put it under your pillow and wait for a phone call or a text to come in. Make sure your kids are not doing that as well. And then you can also put a timer on your router, and that way it'll shut off when you're ready to go to sleep, or at least about that time. And then after you're up, it'll turn on automatically, so you don't have to think about it. Very simple. You can get a little light timer and plug your modem into it and set the hours that you want it to go off while you're sleeping. The wireless headsets that have become very popular are actually emitting radio waves, and you've got them right up against your head all the time that you're using them. I recommend using wired headsets. Also, if you're using a laptop at home, get a wired mouse and a wired keyboard. That'll reduce a lot of your EMF. And better yet, turn off the Wi-Fi and get a cable from your modem to your laptop. And that will reduce a huge amount of EMF coming into your body. I get a lot of questions from people about EMF and what to do about it. And I'm hoping that you'll write some of your questions also in the comments and in the discussions. One thing that you can do right away is there's a program that you can put on your computer. It's free, and it's called f.lux, L-U-X, f.lux. You put it on your computer, and it turns down the amount of blue light coming off of your screen. The blue light activates our pineal gland and keeps us more awake, which is good when you're working. But I don't know if you've ever felt this, but I have. After working on the computer for a long time, I would go to bed because I was super tired, and yet I was all revved up inside and couldn't sleep. So since I put f.lux on my computer, that has really cut that down. You can set it yourself so you can have a little bit more blue light in the daytime when it's brighter, and then at night it'll automatically turn it down even more. And I don't even miss it. After using it for, I've had it for 3 or 4 or 5 years, I don't miss the blue anymore. Occasionally I'll have to disable it to do color correction, for example on this video. But other than that, I haven't even missed the blue light coming off the screen. My brain seems to have already adjusted the colors. How much does it cost to protect myself from these unwanted frequencies? There are some very simple and inexpensive things you can do. Some of them are even free. And then there are some very elaborate and expensive things you can do, like painting your entire house with EMF protective paint, or getting a mosquito tent to cover your bed at night that's EMF proof. Those are kind of pricey, but you do spend a lot of time sleeping, and that is your most important time to protect yourself. In my video series, I'm going to show you both kinds of things. Some very inexpensive things, some very expensive things, and then you can do whatever fits into your budget. Now here's what I dare you to do this week to prove it to yourself. Try just 3 of the things that I've talked about this week and see if you're not sleeping better. We'll take the 1-week sleep test. So, number 1, turn off your cell phone at night. So make sure that it's either on airplane mode or completely off, and don't have it in the bedroom. Number 2, put on a timer on your modem. Just get a cheap light timer. You might even already have one. And set it up so that it turns off, so the whole time that you're sleeping you have no Wi-Fi going on in the house. And number 3, stop using any wireless headsets. Just for a week, just try it, see if you're sleeping better. Then we can have a discussion about this and figure out what's working for people and what's not working for people. Now we talked about some simple things that you can do at home from some of your devices and your phone and your modem to reduce your EMF exposure. But what about all the EMF exposure coming from other people? For example, your neighbor's Wi-Fi that's bombarding you 24/7, or cell phone towers, or smart meters. It goes on and on. What about Bluetooth when you're out and about and other people are using these Bluetooth frequencies and other devices? If you've been enjoying this information, I would like to ask you to share it with 5 people this week who you think could benefit from the reduction of EMF exposure. Now watch in your inbox in the next few days, because I'm going to be sending you a link for the next video in this series where I'm going to go into some of these things and show you how you can begin to reduce your exposure from other people's radiation, and also how you can stop it from affecting you. Congratulations on staying all the way through till the end of the video. And now for your bonus, you can get my free book, Regaining Wholeness Through the Subtle Dimensions. Just go to emf5gfix.com and register, and you can download my book for free. So stay with me, and we'll see you in my next video presentation.